and welcome to this week's Q&A. Gosh, this week has been pretty mental. I know I say this quite often, but it has actually been quite mental because we've got some really exciting things coming up at the squad. And this month in particular, we're all doing a challenge. So yes, squaddies, smashing the February challenge. I'm loving all the posts coming up on the group, so keep them coming and all the sweaty selfies. They're great. And I just want to say, I had a real feeling today, this overwhelming sense of gratitude for what we have and what we do. There really isn't anything like what we do out there at all. And I just thought, I feel so lucky. I just feel so lucky to be surrounded by so many incredibly positive people and to watch you all support each other and celebrate your wins. It's really amazing for me to see. And then to hear that some of you are meeting up like in your own time and you've made friends through the squad as well. It's just incredible. It's incredible that we've got this amazing fitness family. So thank you. And I feel extremely grateful for what we have. And I also want everyone to know there's never any real pressure to, you can get as involved as you want to, whether that's coming to the lives or doing on demand or coming to all the socials or not coming to any, doing the challenges, not doing the challenges. It really doesn't matter. But what is important is whenever you need anything, you know that we're right here for you and the squad are here for each other. And I just really, really felt that today. I just wanted to share it. I think it's important to share when you feel these things. So thank you so much for being part of our amazing fitness family. And gosh, what a month we've got coming up. So next month is our big 5-year party. We've been doing this for 5 years. Can you believe it? I've got a meeting with the Crown Plaza tomorrow to do all the final details, and I have not bought a dress yet. I need to sort this out. I've been putting it off. I hate shopping. I'm a really awkward size. I'm quite short. And no, don't even get me started anyway. I need to do that. And also, we are organising lots of different things for the All's Water Challenge. So if you didn't know, one of our squaddies passed away at the end of last year. She was a very, very dear friend to lots of people in the squad, and yeah, a very, very close person to me too. And we are doing a big fundraiser. So we're doing a walk, the All's Waterway, and I'm also going to organise a big fundraiser before then, so we can all collect funds for cancer research together. And it is going to be a drum roll, please. 4th of April, put it in your diary. Silent Disco 90s workout. Get it in your diary, everyone. I haven't released anything yet, but I just wanted to let you know so you can start to spread the word. Spread the word. Spread the word, bird. Now, time to get on with the Q&A before I keep blabbing on. And I'm also getting your March focus underway, gang. I've got so many ideas, so I'm just going to run it by Laura and Will. I'm sure they'll go, oh no, not another idea. Anyway, got lots of ideas. So here are the questions this week. We're going to talk about how to actually stay motivated with your workouts. We've got another question that is, I hate lunges, will they ever get easier? And also adapting exercise to fit around your cycle. So we're going to be talking about all these kinds of things. Another really interesting question as well, eating fruit late at night. Will eating fruit late at night impact your weight loss due to the sugar intake? Let's find out. Now, I'll try and group them. So we'll talk about like exercise workouts, and then we'll move on to more nutrition focus. And then I'll try and group them like that. So let's start with the first one. And this is one that every single human being will experience at some point, and that is struggling to stay motivated. How to actually want to do your workouts. So we've all had that feeling where working out just sounds great, but when it actually comes down to doing it, we're just really, really not feeling it. Or maybe you've been on it for a while and actually then you feel like you've just fallen off the wagon completely, and exercising just feels like a huge chore and you just don't feel motivated. Or maybe you just can't put your finger on it, but you just can't get motivated. And we're waiting for the magical motivation fairy to to come and cast some sort of spell on us to make us feel motivated. It doesn't happen. And this is how to actually want to do your workouts, okay? You need to, number one, reframe the way that you see working out and exercise. So rather than thinking that I have to work out or I have to get up at 6 in the morning and do sculpt, I have to do Pilates to improve my core strength, think I get to move my body. I get to move my body and I get to feel stronger. I get to improve my core strength. I get to wake up and do something that energizes me at the start of the day. So start to tell yourself these things, reframe the way that you see exercise because it's true. Exercise isn't a chore. It's a privilege to be able to move our body to improve our strength and our well-being and our fitness. So that's the first thing. The second thing is make it ridiculously easy for yourself. For example, online fitness classes, so ridiculously easy. It is there. We have no excuse. You could also lay your workout clothes out the night before, put your equipment out ready, and literally have your laptop or your device, whatever you're going to use, ready on the page. And you can even negotiate with yourself and just say, I'm going to do 5 minutes. Like if you really don't want to, just say, I'm going to do 5 minutes. And if I still don't want to do it, like really don't want to do it after 5 minutes, okay, fair enough. But you'll usually find 9 times out of 10, and this is what I find with myself, unless sometimes if I'm really ill, then I'm like, okay, yeah, I can't actually do any more than 5 minutes. But usually what happens is after this point, the point of 5 minutes, you're then in the workout and you're like, oh, well, I'm feeling fine now. I'm all right. Yeah, it wasn't as bad as I thought. Or I'm glad I did this now. Or I'm in the zone now. I don't want to come back to it later. I'm just going to carry on. And then you feel really good for it. The only workout you regret is the one you didn't do. So just make it ridiculously easy to get going. And if you need to, change the workout. So if you've got a HIIT scheduled and actually you're feeling completely and utterly physically and emotionally drained, do something else. Just put a yoga on, or a yoga scape, or a Pilates, or a power walking, or a dance fitness, or an aerobics, or do something different. The third tip would be do something that you enjoy. So if you're absolutely dreading your workouts, maybe it's just time to switch it up. Maybe it's time to try a class that you haven't done before or something completely and utterly new. Or maybe, maybe you've got Pilates scheduled in for tonight, but actually you just want a workout that makes you feel really, really powerful. So instead you're going to do a stronger or a combat. So experiment and do the things that you enjoy and that makes you feel really, really good because they're the things that you're going to keep coming back to. And then another thing would be, well, two more things actually, community. This is why we stay so accountable in our squad. If you don't feel like doing it, you don't feel motivated, tell everybody. Tell everyone, guys, not feeling it, help, or put it on the group. I'm not feeling motivated. Has anyone got any workout suggestions? Everyone will be bam right on it. Oh yeah, me too. I didn't feel like that today. Thanks so much for posting this. It's made me want to do one now. That's what the group's for, and that's what it's so amazing for. And I've seen that a few times in the group, and it's really important to do. And stay accountable to you in your journals. You set your plans, you show up for you, and the more we stick to the promises we set for ourselves, the more trust we build within ourselves, we improve the relationship with ourselves, and we feel good. Play it forward. How will you feel if you don't do it? How will you feel if you do do it? And then focus on the small wins. And a small win might be, I didn't feel like working out today, but I moved my body and actually felt quite good for it. Or I'm really happy that I showed up to class when I didn't feel like it this morning. I feel so much better than before I started. So focus on the small wins and maybe even write them down, like in notes in your phone or just somewhere so you've got it and you remember that feeling. Next question. I hate lunges. Am I alone and will they ever get easier? You are not alone. And that's because lunges are tough, but they're also one of the best moves you can do for lower body strength. And if you think about it, if you've got stairs in your house, you're basically lunging every single day. And they're really, really good for your, not just your lower body strength, but your stability and your balance. So they feel pretty hard because you are working single leg strength. They require a lot of balance and coordination. And if you find that your hips or your quads are pretty tight, or maybe even your ankles are pretty tight, they can feel a bit awkward, like extra awkward. So if you find lunges difficult, they do get easier, just takes a bit of practice. And I would start with number one, reverse lunges. So that is where you're standing up tall, you take a long step back and then bend both knees. They'll feel a bit kinder on the knees, they're easier to control, and also stand near a wall, and you can use the wall for support. Just make sure that you're keeping your stance possibly a bit wider than you think you need to as well. Your feet need to be at least hip distance apart, and you take a long step back, aim for 90-90 with the knees. Because if you are too narrow, you will feel like you're on a tightrope. and you will struggle with your balance and stability. So you might just need to take your feet a little bit wider. You can also, to make them easier, you can practice strength with your quads, with your glutes. Make sure you're doing workouts that help to loosen up your hips. That might be yoga scape, it might be Pilates, and just stick with it. Stay consistent because it will get easier the more you practice it. Go on the how-to area as well. You know, if you go on demand, click how-to, and there's lots of different how-to videos and breaking some of the moves down. Lunges are in there as well. So stick with it. You've got this. And they do get easier with time, I promise. Time and practice. Next question. It's another form one. I feel like my back arches during the clean and press. Is this normal? Is my form wrong, or is it maybe the wrong weight? Now, I also asked a question on the back of this one. I said, does it hurt when you do this? And the answer was no. Now, I think the most important thing to do is focus on your technique and just make sure you are ticking off these little checkpoints with your form. Again, go on the how-to area, have a look at the clean and press section, break it down. It might be a case that you're not engaging your core properly, and we may need to adjust the weight to do that. So make sure before you lift the weight up, you are zipping up the core. So draw the navel in towards the spine and just imagine like zipping up a really tight pair of jeans and how that would feel. Squeeze your glutes, and that will help you from overextending your back. So the glutes are squeezed, the core is engaged, and make sure the barbell, as you lift it up, it's staying really close to your body, almost like you're going to lift your t-shirt up as you do it. And if you find yourself leaning back, maybe you need to drop the weight slightly and just really focus in on the technique. So there are a little pointers, technique pointers, I would say. Just make sure you are really, really keeping it close to your body. Obviously, make sure you get your head, tuck your chin as you lift it up overhead. Another thing that you can do is you can literally video yourself. So video yourself side on and have a look. What are you doing with your back when you're doing it? If you generally speaking, if you have more of a lordotic posture, which is where you do have an arch in your back and your bottom sticks out a little bit more, just because that is the shape of your spine, then maybe it is more natural for you to do that. I don't know, but it might be a sign that we just need a little bit more engagement and to keep the bar a bit closer to the body. Feel free to reduce the weight a little bit just while you're practicing that, and I hope that helps. Next, is it a good idea to do 2 different sessions back to back? Yeah, it depends. Like, it depends on what you're used to. It depends on what the type of sessions are, your recovery and your energy levels, and how you want to space your workouts out. But absolutely. And this is why we do the shorter workouts. And oh, one sec, let me just turn it off. This is why we do the shorter workouts as well. So you can actually like bolt them together. So you can either, do the short workouts, so 20 minutes a day, Monday to Friday, boom, got your workouts in, or do Weekend Warrior. Or if you want to, you can do the double, and I make sure that they perfectly complement each other. So if you want to do the 40 minutes every day, then great. We can make sure they complement each other. So for example, well, if you follow the timetable, I've already sorted out for you. But I would always do like a cardio with a strength, or a cardio with a holistic, or a strength with a holistic, strength with a cardio. I always make sure that I do those ones. And another thing that you could do as well, if you're on demand, you might want to do upper body and then lower body strength or something like that. Or you might want to do lower body strength and then lower body stretch, which we've got on there. So it just really, really depends. But yeah, I wouldn't be doing like hit 20-minute hit followed by 20-minute hit, or 20-minute hit followed by 20-minute hit with weights. I wouldn't really be recommending that kind of thing. But yeah, there's absolutely no problem with doing 2 different sessions back to back at all. I'm mostly a weekend warrior due to work. If I do 3 classes in one day, what is the best order to do them? I mean, it doesn't matter too much the order that you want to do them in. And sometimes it comes down to personal preference. But if I had to say an order, this is probably the order that I would do. I would probably start with strength training first when you're feeling fresh. When you're feeling fresh, and the reason why you want to do that is because you'll have more energy to make sure that your form is correct. So I would do your strength training first, or you could do a Pilates for core engagement before you do your strength training. So then you're going to be holding yourself properly. So potentially that. Then followed by cardio, and then I'd probably finish with flexibility, mobility, so like a yoga or a Pilates, unless you were going to use that to get your core ready at the start. So that is kind of the order I'd do it. Probably strength, cardio, holistic, but it doesn't really matter too much. I don't know if I'd be doing a meditation and then getting up and diving into a combat though, or like a hit. I would probably save that to the end. Strength training when you're feeling fresher, cardio, so like your fatigue, say if you get a bit fatigued after doing 20 minutes of cardio or half an hour cardio, whatever. So that second, and then the flexibility, mobility to cool down and recover. And just make sure if you are doing the 3 sessions back to back, take some water with you. And if you need like a little snack while you're doing it, have that by for some quick sugar if you need it. But you shouldn't be, it shouldn't be a problem with the shorter sessions anyway. It should be absolutely fine. Why are my triceps so much weaker than my other arm muscles? I still can't do push-ups properly. Now, triceps are often quite naturally weaker because they're actually smaller, and they're the smaller muscle group compared to things like your shoulders or your chest. So this is really quite normal. I really wouldn't worry about it at all. What you want to do if you want to improve your strength is to practice doing more tricep work. So that would be doing more triceps on demand. So if you type tricep in, tricep workouts come up. Doing push-up progressions. So maybe starting with incline ones where your hands are on a step and doing it there on your knees. And then you could remove the incline. So then you're doing it on your knees there and then moving on to the toes. So you could progress it. If you go to on demand and go on to the how-to area, we break down tricep push-ups that you can try. But in all honesty, consistency is key. Like if you want to get better at something, practice triceps. Set a timer on your phone and do 2 minutes of triceps every single morning. Every single morning, maybe have a couple of rest days in there. And you will get better at it. But it's just that consistency and just sticking with it. You could even set yourself a challenge, right? In the month of, I am going to do 2 minutes, 5 days a week of push-ups, of tricep push-ups, and I'm going to see how I feel at the end of the month as opposed to the beginning. I'm going to start with incline, and by the end of the month, I want to be able to do one on my toes, something like that, for example. Okay, so we're now moving on to a bit more of a nutrition section, team. Does decaf tea and cordial count towards water intake, or should it be plain water? I mean, plain water is still best because it's free of any additives that might be in things like cordial. But yes, I would include decaf tea and diluted cordial or squash towards your water intake. Yes, I would just get things, that have minimal added things in. But they can also be a fantastic way to stay hydrated. If you find water a little bit boring, absolutely fine. I drink quite a bit of squash as well. I just get I've got some here, double strength apple and blackcurrant squash, no added sugar. That's what I have, as well as having water and other things as well. But yes, that's absolutely fine, of course. The most important thing with staying hydrated is just look at the colour of your pee. You're wanting a very, very pale yellow straw colour, and that shows that you are adequately hydrated. And if you go for a pee and it's not that, then you know how to adjust from there, basically. So just being kind of more aware and actually looking behind you. What are some anti-inflammatory foods? I'm coming off my steroids and I don't want my PMR to flare up. Now, I hope that you have been given proper medical advice, like coming off the steroids, and your GP has spoken to you about this and given you some advice on the things that to do, to not to do, etc. So I do have to say that I'm not a medical professional, but anti-inflammatory foods in general, if you go to our nutrition area on the website, we did a nutrition focus last year and created lots more guides. And in there, we've got a anti-inflammatory list of lots of different foods that you can just grab from your supermarket. But just literally off the top of my head, here are a few. So fatty fish like your salmon and your mackerel. So omega-3s are really, really good for fighting inflation. And of course, those types of fish are full of omega-3s. You've got your berries. So I quite often get, the packs of frozen berries that you can get where it's like strawberries. What else is in it? It's like strawberries, raspberries, blackberries, and blueberries. And you can just add them to whatever. I quite often add them to yogurt and my porridge as well. But they're brilliant because they're packed with antioxidants. Your leafy greens like spinach, kale, rocket, blah, hate rocket. Rocket has just got a really, really strong taste, hasn't it? I mean, I will still eat it, but it's not my favorite leafy green. You've got your nuts and seeds like almonds, walnuts, chia seeds. Just be careful with nuts and seeds on portion sizes, though, please, if you are on a weight loss journey. They're not bad for you. They're very, very good for you. But with them being higher in healthier fats, and they are also higher in calories. So if you are looking to watch your weight, just be careful with the portion sizes, that's all. And then you've got things like turmeric and ginger. So they have really powerful natural anti-inflammatory properties. The things to avoid would probably be things like excessive alcohol, um, processed foods, any sort of refined sugars, probably avoiding them because they can trigger inflammation and just sticking to more of what we spoke about above. But I really hope that gives you some ideas. I hope you are furiously writing a little list there to add to your supermarket shop. Do chia seeds really help with weight loss? Okay, so they don't magically make you lose weight. To lose weight, you must be in a calorie deficit, meaning that calories out are greater than calories in. So your overall energy balance needs to be negative in order to lose body fat. So chia seeds don't magically make that happen, but they are high in fiber, and that keeps you fuller for longer. They're a really good source of omega-3s, which we've just said is great for, reducing inflammation, and they're really good for supporting your overall health as well. And they do absorb a bit of liquid, so they can help with digestion, get things moving. But they're good for you. They're really good for you. You can add them to smoothies, you could add them to your porridge, you could add them to your yogurt, but they're not going to magically make you lose weight though. That will be dependent on your overall energy balance. When's the best time to eat fruit? And will eating it in the evening stop me from losing weight? Now this one, it's a big old myth. Timing doesn't matter as much as your overall intake. So you could, in theory, put weight on by eating too much fruit if that put you into a calorie surplus. So if that meant that your overall energy balance was positive, so that you are taking in more than you are expending, then that would technically mean that your weight would increase. Now, realistically, it is very difficult to do that with eating lots of fruit. Like you would probably be sat on the toilet all day and you probably wouldn't feel great at all. But fruits are so great for you because they're really high in fiber, in vitamins, antioxidants is really, really important. But having sugar at night from fruit or any types of sugar, it doesn't mean that all of a sudden your body stores it all as fat just because it's later at night. That will be all about your overall energy balance. Are you in a plus or are you in a minus? Are you in a positive or a negative overall energy balance? The only thing that I would say about fruit, and I believe this is from dentists, I believe, is they say it's more about obviously like leaving the sugar on your teeth. Now anyone can just dispel this if this is not correct. But I heard from a dentist. I do have friends who are dentists. I heard from a dentist that it is better to have your fruit with a meal as opposed to having the meal and then having the fruit later on in the afternoon because it's like that extra exposure to the natural sugars. I mean, whether you choose to follow that or not is another thing. I know personally that I don't really do that. I will snack on fruit mid-morning, mid-afternoon. It just doesn't matter. Fruit's so healthy for you. I'm sure that any pros will outweigh any negatives with that side of thing. Maybe just wash it down with some water or something. I don't know. All the dentists are like, they're cringing now. But yeah, it's an absolute myth. And eating fruit late at night will not stop you from losing weight at all. One thing you could do is you could pair it with some protein. If you wanted to make it a better evening snack, you could pair it with some protein before you go to bed, like a Greek yogurt. But no, apart from that, no, it's a myth. It's a big old myth. Next question. How do you suggest adapting exercise around your cycle? Okay, now this is so dependent on the person. So some people will find that they don't need to adapt their exercise at all around their cycle. And I, touch wood, I would say that I'm lucky enough to be one of those people. So I just kind of basically get on with it. I just get on with it. If my energy is feeling a little bit lower, I will still show up for the workout that I've planned, and I might just need to adapt. Like I might not lift as heavy, for example, or I might just not go all in on that workout. I might just pull back the intensity a little bit, but generally speaking, I try not to overthink it too much. But some people find that PMS and it really affects them, and actually they do need to adapt and train around their cycle. So if that is you, here's just a little bit of food for thought. So the week before our period starts, so the week before the bleed, you might be feeling a little bit lower in energy and you might be feeling a little bit sluggish, and that is totally normal. That is totally fine. You might want to just drop your weights if you are doing things like stronger. Notice that I say you might want to. It just depends on the person. You might want to tap into more like yoga, Pilates, light walking, so prioritize more lower impact movement, depending on how you feel. So this is our luteal phase. And if you think about it, the body is doing a lot. Like internally, it's doing a lot to prepare for this bleed, right? So it's natural that you are going to be feeling a little bit more sluggish or a bit unmotivated. Again, it depends on if you want to act on that or not. You don't have to act on that. You could literally think, I know I'm going to be feeling a little bit unmotivated this week because it is the week before my period, but I've set these workouts for myself, and I know that by doing them, I'm going to feel better. So although my motivation isn't feeling as high, I know why, and I've got a choice. I can act on that or not. But for some people, you might feel absolutely whacked, and then you might need to alter your workouts a little bit. So it's dependent, okay? Then during your period, listen to your body. Some people are fine. Other people need to rest more. It just depends. Sometimes if you get cramps and things, you might want to do things like gentle yoga. Anything with twists in can feel really nice, or restorative yoga. So if you type that into on demand as well, and maybe some light cardio that can help ease cramps a little bit. Just stay hydrated. Just keep fueling your body. That is going to be key for that week. The week after is the follicular phase, and this is normally where you feel like you are on fire, girl, on fire, powerful, amazing. And this is where you probably want to do your more challenging workouts. You're likely to recover quite quick and feel stronger and feel more energized. So this could be an area where you think, right, okay, well, I'm going to up my weights this week and I'm going to do hits. It's completely up to you. Again, you might not even really feel much different. You might feel completely the same as normal. And your ovulation week, so this is usually, it's around about day 14-ish. That is when your strength is going to peak. So it's great for if you're wanting to achieve any PBs or anything like that. But it just really depends on you. That is the bottom line. So going by how you feel, and you know your body best. But that's why with what we do, online classes, it can cater for all of that. No matter how you feel, there's a workout for you to do. So you're in the best place, basically. Now, let me just check that I have answered all the questions because I don't want to have missed any out. But I really, really hope that this has been useful. I love doing these Q&As, can you tell? I think we've done them all. Yeah. Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much for your amazing questions, everybody. Have a great week. Get stuck into the challenge and stay tuned for March. We've got something very exciting coming. And if you need anything at all, please do get in touch and have wonderful days. Bye, everybody. And if you are listening to this podcast and you're thinking, oh my gosh, that sounds amazing, I really, really want to join, then come and join our 6-week reboots. All you need to do is go to the website, hit get started, pop your details in, and the amazing Laura will be in touch with you, or it could be myself, and we will help you get on board and see how we can help.